open is Andrews. Gets away from the tackle, but the ball is out.
Moving the ball wonderfully is hold on to the ball.
Nobody cares, keep your excuses. Only two type of people in life, winners and losers.
Fires to the goal line, touchdown! Now it comes down to a 2-point conversion, and he could not come up with it.
How come their best player in the biggest games continue to come up the smallest?
Oh, goodness. So many great matchups week one, a.k.a. this week. Can't wait. This one's fascinating. The Bills hosting the Ravens. Both teams hoping this is the year they get past the Chiefs and really each other as they battle for AFC supremacy. See the snow in the sky there? It's not going to be snow in this game at least. Dan, the last time Baltimore saw Buffalo, their season ended. What should Lamar and the offense be looking to do in this divisional round rematch on Sunday night?
Yeah, I think you take shots at the safeties of Buffalo's defense. I think this game we learn a lot more about Buffalo than we do Baltimore. Buffalo's defense has been a unit that really is like a below average unit in totality, but the takeaways have been massive for them. And when you just watch preseason, I think the thing that stood out, at least for me from an offensive perspective, is the lack of speed at the safety position. And if I was Baltimore, Todd Monken and some of the vertical threat, remember in the playoffs, there was no Zay Flowers for that Ravens offense. I would test those safeties in many ways for Buffalo. And if you're Buffalo, I just think it's a referendum in some way of have we gotten the defense to be more sound? Turnovers are great. And if you keep getting them, they're great. But the ability to stop people matters probably just as much, if not more. And I think we learn a little bit more about Buffalo's defense.
Yeah, Dan, this is a defense that was really dependent on turnovers last year. It's kind of what kept them closer to average. But outside of turnovers, they were one of the worst third down defenses in the NFL, really struggled to stop the pass. And I fear those struggles might continue early on because you talked about the safeties, and I agree with every point you made. I don't know who's playing cornerback for Buffalo in this game. Maxwell Hairston, the first-round draft pick, is injured. Travius White has been injured. Christian Benford, who's their star cornerback, has an injury. Even if he plays, you're looking at weaknesses opposite him and potentially if he's injured with him. So I think for Baltimore, this is one where you are going to want to air it out. And if Benford plays and he's on Flowers, you throw to Bateman or vice versa. You're going to have to hunt for weaknesses. What you got to do is just avoid turnovers, which have been costly through the air in key moments. But I think there will be opportunities downfield, whether it's throwing at the corners or the safeties, where Baltimore loves to feast over the middle of the field.
Y'all, I love the matchup. I love that we're going to see two AFC playoff teams. Phenomenal quarterbacks match up in week one, but it don't matter. Like this for me is whoever wins this game, they gonna play each other again, most likely. Or down the road, we'll figure out who these teams are. Right now, the Ravens do have an advantage from an offensive standpoint, like you and Dan alluded to. Offensively for Buffalo, we know Josh is there. They got their running back signed. We got all of this information on both of these teams. I think the bottom line in this week one game is we're going to see what the new iteration of these teams look like. And to y'all point with that secondary in Buffalo, people are going to find out, is it a strength that they're building or is it a weakness? With the Baltimore Ravens, they had, I didn't realize this. I talked to research. The Ravens they had a high drop rate last year as an offensive football team. They were explosive in the run game, explosive in the pass game. Obviously, Lamar had a lot to do with that. But this team has to clean up things that bite them in games, not only in playoff games, but in games in the regular season. When we see the Ravens perform bad, it's usually self-inflicted wounds or a secondary that played horribly early part of the season last year. So there's a lot of things we can learn about the new Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens, but ultimately we know that both of these teams are going to be trying to knock on the door to make it to the Super Bowl, and week one is just a great matchup to see what's new about both of these organizations this year.
Yeah, Mina, quickly, what are you looking to see from Josh Allen coming off the MVP performance? And obviously he wanted more because he wants to get to the Super Bowl, but what kind of statement does he need to make week one?
I'm less interested in Allen, who just has to look exactly like he did last year, and more, can either Dalton Kincaid or Keon Coleman take the leap? I've been saying this. I really want to see one of these young Bills pass catchers step up, particularly against man coverage. I think Baltimore will play a decent amount. That, to me, is going to be the difference in the end. Allen, just keep playing exactly like you've been playing.
Yeah, we'll see if he can do that. That'd be impressive.
Correct.
Time for one more thing before we go, you guys. What a great story for Josh Hines Allen and his family. His son Wesley rang the bell this week as he conquered leukemia. The family's battle leading the Jags linebacker to announce a new initiative, Sackathon for Pediatric Cancer.
Amazing.
He's going to donate $410 for every sack the team makes this season. The donations will be spread across 4 cancer charities. Just incredible work and amazing for this family. Congratulations to Wesley as well. Marcus, that's so cool.
It's phenomenal to see. Look, you never want to get this information about your children, but you know, the doctors and the people that put the time in to bring these kids back and make sure that they're healthy and they can ring that bell, we got to give them some credit and shine too. And shout out to Josh and his wife. I know it was a difficult time, but they got through it and their son is healthy and he's ready to rock on the
Yeah, the number 1 pick, Cam Ward, and talk about a ridiculous challenge. He's playing the Denver Broncos. Cam Ward is the first pick in the NFL draft that, we obviously did not talk about enough in respect to where he was drafted. He's looked at times really impressive this preseason. He has thrown the football down the field. This young man does not like checkdowns. I wanted to just see how he performs against Denver's defense. Denver's going to have a top 3 defense in the NFL. If he performs well and looks like he belongs, that is a beautiful sign for the Titans' future at quarterback.
How can you not be excited about Travis Hunter? I mean, potentially we're seeing history with him playing on both sides of the ball. But I'm going to focus on offense, which I think is going to be his primary focus in this first outing. I'm really excited to see how Liam Cohen utilizes him, how he finds ways to put him in motion, get him free releases, take advantage of all the attention paid to Brian Thomas Jr. Hunter is such a special athlete with the ball in his hands, and Liam Cohen is very good at finding ways to get the ball to his playmakers in space. I'm excited for this marriage.
I'm going Abdul Carter. I can't wait to see this Giants pass rush, but you add a dynamic athlete like this across from Brian Burns and Dexter Lawrence and all of those guys. I said it earlier this offseason, the Giants are going to give people problems if they can get them in passing down situations. This rookie is super athletic, strong coming off the edge. I cannot wait to see the New York Giants defensive line, but more importantly, this rookie Abdul Carter added to what's already a dominant pass rushing unit.
Yeah, we can't wait to see him, but the other teams, they don't want to see that pass rush from New York. All right, Aaron Glenn, he's making his coaching debut on Sunday, head coaching debut. The Steelers are coming to town. Of course, one of the first moves Glenn made in New York was moving on from Aaron Rodgers, who eventually landed in Pittsburgh. As for Glenn's new quarterback, Justin Fields, he met with the media earlier this afternoon.
It's just all about, me playing efficient, me playing smart, taking care of the football on the offensive side of the ball, especially this upcoming Sunday. I think they led the league in turnovers last year, so that's going to be one important factor that we're going to look to do this Sunday. And like I said, just continuing to get better each and every day, each and every week, and progressing throughout the season.
You got some raised eyebrows from those conspiracy theorists on the script writing of the NFL script writing conspiracy with this game. Dan, either way, the Jets elected to go with Justin Fields instead of Rodgers. What are you looking to see from the New York offense in Week 1 against Fields' former team?
45 runs at least. I think the Jets should try to run the football for at least 45 rush attempts against the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I look at it this way. Ben Johnson in Detroit, they ran the ball about 30 times a game. Okay, so Tanner Engstrand, who was in Detroit with Ben Johnson, now the offensive coordinator with the Jets. So 30 rushes is what he's used to. Justin Fields has run the football in his starts in the NFL at about 9 times a game. That's 40 right there. If I'm the Jets, I'm going to make this an ugly football game. I'm going to make it a violent, physical football game, specifically if Cam Ward doesn't play. And I want to get it to the fourth quarter and make it and use motion in my run game as much as possible. That is what Pittsburgh has struggled with defensively, stopping the run. Honestly, my number was 50 at first, and then I dropped it down. I would run the football 45 or more times.
Dan, I am dying because we did not talk before this. I wrote down 10 carries for Justin Fields and watched the hell out of that.